Hi, everybody, and welcome to Quarantine Cafe. I am here right now with Tom Pearo, a great guitar player and producer based in Burlington, Vermont. So how's your life going? How's quarantine and everything, Tom?
Oh man, life is kind of crazy. I feel like I should be feeling like bad, but honestly, I have like a really great spot up here in Vermont in the pretty much isolated in the woods already. And I have an amazing studio at home. And so I'm just trying to put my best creative efforts forward in a time like this. So I'd say I'm making the best of it. I think that I obviously have this anxiety and this weirdness, but I'm in a really great spot. I'm really grateful to have awesome roommates that also play music. So I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How you doing, Callum?
Nice. I'm doing great, I keep myself busy and life is good. So can you
Mm,
tell us a little bit about the music that you're about to play for us?
of course, yeah. The music that I'm about to play is from my first album. It's called Headspace. It was released in November of 2017. And all of my music is based around loops. So I use the concept of a loop to kind of set up a musical meditation for you all. And my music really aims to strike deep into your body and deep into your emotional kind of center and just really bring you on what I like to call an inner journey. So it's not super flashy music. It's not pop music. I take influence from jazz. I take influence from ambient artists, and I also take influence from minimalists in classical music a lot. And I try to combine that all in my own little unique crystal of tonality. So that's what you'll hear today.
Very cool. Let's give that a listen, and then we'll be right back with Tom Pearo.
Hello. Um, Thanks so much for having me here on the Quarantine Cafe. Really excited to be a part of this program. Um, my name's Tom Pearo. I'm a musician, artist, um, and lover of philosophy. Um, and I'll be playing some music for you today off of my first album. It's called Headspace. I released it in 2017, and see it right here. Um, there's a couple songs on here that are, I think, really pertinent in this time. And this first one is especially relevant. Um, it's called We'll Be Okay. So please enjoy.
We're back with Tom Pearo. So Tom, it's funny listening to your tracks. The thing, okay, so as you mentioned, you have a lot of different influences, and you mentioned jazz music. So the one guy who like just kind of screams out in my head because of the looping and the use of reverb and like the Fender and the tone and everything is Bill Frisell. Do you listen to a lot of Bill Frisell?
I mean, did I tell you? Did I tell you about this?
No.
Oh my God. Okay, so that's the biggest compliment you could ever give because Bill Frisell is my favorite musician, living or dead.
Yeah, he's one of mine too.
He's absolutely at the top. And you're not the only person to compare me to him. And I have to say that's the biggest compliment I could ever receive. I am a huge Bill Frisell fan. In fact, I consider myself a disciple of
Huh.
Bill Frisell. He doesn't know this, but I have had the opportunity to meet him on two separate occasions. The first occasion that I met Bill Frisell, I had just graduated from college. I have a degree in physics and math.
Oh, cool.
And I was in my first band that I thought was really good. We had released an album. It rocked. The band was called Squid City. We still do have a record on Spotify. And I was debating that day whether or not I should continue my graduate degree in physics and math or if I should stick with music. I was working at a guitar shop at the time, teaching lessons, doing some repairs just for some extra cash. And I had meditated at the beach all day and I decided I'm going to stick with music. I can always go back to school. I go up on my bike. I'm going to pop in the guitar shop, see what's going on. I pop in the guitar shop. I just start playing a guitar. Who walks in the door? Bill Frisell. Callum, it gets better.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like, Bill Frisell's in there. I'm like, oh my God, like, okay, play it cool. So I pretend like I don't even know him. The owner of the shop and him knew each other, so Steve talks to him a little bit.
Yeah.
He's checking out the banjos. He's checking out tenor banjos. So I just walk over. I say, hey, if you have any questions, just let me know. Don't fangirl him. Just kind of like a normal customer.
Yeah.
And he starts talking to me about the tuning of the tenor banjo a little bit. And so we just chat for a couple minutes, and I'm like, oh, that was cool. And I walk back behind the counter, and I'm like, I got to pick up a guitar. Like, I got to play guitar, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, I was playing in all these different crazy alternate tunings, only alternate tunings. I wasn't using standard tuning at all. So I picked up my favorite Martin. We were a Martin dealership.
Yep.
And I start tuning it in this low C tuning. And I actually get so into tuning it that I kind of forget like that Bill Frisell's there, and I'm just trying to get it in tune because it's this crazy tuning. And I finally get it in tune, and I start playing this song. And I kid you not, Callum, I look up, and Bill Frisell is standing right in front of me, and he said, quote it,
Yeah.
"That sounds good. What tuning is that?"
That's awesome. Do you remember what the tuning
And
was?
What's that?
Do you remember what the tuning was?
The tuning was C from low to high, C, A, D, G, B, E.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this like weird sus C tuning that I use for this song called "In the Land of the Lollipops." And Bill Frisell told me it sounded good, and I almost pooped my pants. Like I left the store, and I think I was like crying on the phone to my friend. And I haven't had a chance to tell Bill that story. I met him again at Jazz Fest last year, and we actually got to talk for like 20 minutes backstage and took a bunch of pictures together.
Huh.
But I hope one day that he hears that and knows. I mean, I think about that every time I'm considering, I'm struggling and maybe I'm in a down spot. I just think about that moment where Bill Frisell told me that I sounded good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got to keep playing, man. So, Callum, that's the biggest honor anyone could ever say. And of course, I'm just a huge Nashville, gone just like a train, good dog, happy man.
Yeah. Oh man.
Unspeakable. I
So many
mean,
good records.
his sense of space and
Yeah.
his attention and mastery of tone.
Yes, of tone.
It's
Yeah.
just, I mean, it speaks to me so deeply. So that's a huge honor. And yes, I consider myself an unlicensed disciple of Bill Frisell.
That's awesome.
So as some of you may have noticed out there, my music deals mostly with loops. I use loops to create a meditative space for the listener to come into. And, I describe my music as pulling from ambient influences, pulling from jazz influences, pulling from minimalist influences, and even some classical influences. And I kind of take those all together and through my own lens, try to give the listener something unique, something honest, and something simple, um, yet beautiful. Once again, these songs are off my first album, Headspace. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes Music, Bandcamp, Facebook, Instagram. All you have to do is just search Tom Pearo. My last name is spelled Pearo. It's like the fruit pear with an O on the end. So if you like what you hear, please check me out and take the music with you. This next one is another song from my first album, Headspace, and this one is called London. I want to thank everyone so much for tuning in today to the Quarantine Cafe. Thank you so much, Callum, and the whole team there for having me on. Once again, my name is Tom Pearo, and the tunes I played today were off my first album, Headspace. You can find that album on iTunes, Apple Music, Bandcamp. You can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. Again, it's TOMPEARO, like the fruit pear with an O. I do still have some 180 gram audiophile quality vinyl records. I have about maybe 100 left. I did a limited pressing of 500. These are for sale on my Bandcamp, as well as CDs or digital downloads. And of course, you can stream my music for free on Spotify or YouTube or Bandcamp if you'd like.
So yeah, you're also a producer, I understand.
Yes, yeah.
And you've been working on a record for somebody who's a friend of the show, right? Ivan May. Can you talk a little bit about that process? Is that one of the main things that you've been working on during quarantine?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah. Yes, it is probably my main focus right now and has been for the past couple months. We're releasing a record that we've been working on for about 2 years. We did a $10,000 Indiegogo that was successful. We're going to be pressing it to vinyl. And this is kind of my first role as not only a musician, but also a producer in a album for someone that's not myself.
Yeah.
I produce all my own music as well. But Brittany and me have a very similar headspace, a similar mindset, if you will, about our music.
It's interesting. You can kind of tell with like sonically even, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. You both really like that kind of like washed out, like a reverb sound, but with like a really clear sort of guitar tone.
Exactly. We're in the same river. So I always think about collaborating with someone. You know, I found that necessarily in collaborations, I don't necessarily. You have to be at a certain level of musicianship for me to really kind of want to play with you. But I don't really care about playing with the best musicians.
Yep.
I would rather play, like, I look at it like a landscape, right? Like, there are some musicians that are on a mountain. There are some musicians that are in a city. There are some musicians that are in the forest.
Yeah.
And I'm in a river. And I want musicians that are good, but that are in the river with me.
Yeah.
And Brittany is in the river with me. So working with her, it feels almost effortless. Although I'll be honest, Callum, you know, I probably spent 50 to 100 hours per track.
Yeah.
You know, easily, I'd say. I probably have logged in over 1,000 hours on this project, and it's lots of hard work.
Yep.
But right now I'm working on wrapping up the mix. So, you know, for a long time too, I didn't really know what the role of a producer is. And still the role of a producer is kind of, I think, fuzzy amongst a lot of people.
Yep.
I'm not really funding this album. A lot of times producers will put up backing money. You know, we raised money to do this. But I am kind of acting as the intermediary between the sonic ideas that are in Brittany's head and the sound that comes out of the speakers.
Very cool.
So when Brittany says, I want it to sound like I'm underwater, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to use the Valhalla Supermassive, and then I'm going to reamp it through I know the technical details of how to get that sound.
Yep.
And I have a lot of fun doing it. I've found that, man, mixing, you know, when I first started mixing, I thought it was like, okay, you put the levels, you know, you get the levels here and all the levels, and that's great. And it turns out that's not what mixing is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really diving into reamping. Kind of what I do when I take a track is I'll take every stem that she gives me, right? So she'll give me the vocal take, she'll give me the guitar take. I look at them like colors.
Yeah.
Right? So I take those as colors, and then with each one, I create different shades of that color. So maybe I'll take the drums and I'll reamp them through my 1966 Blackface Bassman, a trick that Dan Auerbach uses a lot. Or maybe I'll take the vocals and I'll run them through my Line 6 DL4 and create these pads. So I'll take a vocal that's purple and I'll make shades of purple so I can start to paint.
Yep.
And that is magic. And that's where I have so much fun doing this. It's kind of ridiculous. And I'm, I do that for my own music too. I mix my own music. So these are techniques that I have come up with over the past couple of years. So yeah, the album's sounding really good. It's by far the biggest project I've ever mixed.
Yep.
Brittany's like, Tom, I've got some vocal layers I need to send you for this one track. And I'm like, cool, send them on over. There's 144. Just extra. So these projects are huge. And actually, everyone out there, I think I'm going to be planning on doing a little mix with the masters series where I'll do a video of me actually breaking down one of these tracks.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, you can see the EQ curves I use. I'll show you every plugin I use. I'll show you the different types of reamping. I mean, it probably will be a multi-part series.
Yep.
But I think it's something that, I'm so passionate about, and it's such an important part of how to get the sound you want.
Yeah.
The recording studio can be either heaven or hell for a lot of people. And debunking the mixing process and showing people kind of what is possible, I think might help a lot of musicians have a clearer understanding when they go into their next project.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's funny, I only recently just got into that aspect of it at all. Like I've been an instrumentalist, and I always used to hate going to the studio because it's so sterile, compared to live performance. Although I guess nowadays, like especially right now in this moment, everybody's kind of like stuck in the studio in this sterile environment because there's no audience.
Totally.
but anyway, we're basically out of time for the interview. Where can people find all your stuff on the internet?
Oh, so I just updated my website. You can go to tompearo.com. It's TOMPEARO.com. There are links to my Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music. My music is on all major streaming platforms. So just search for Tom Pearo and take an inner journey for yourself.
Great. And is there anything else that you want to say to the audience before we wrap it up?
I really want to thank you, Callum, and everyone at Quarantine Cafe. Like I said, I've been checking out the videos, not only of mine, but of other people. And you guys are really doing a great job providing content. It's really needed right now. And I just want to thank you so much for having me on.
Hey,
and thank everyone out there for listening and being here, because, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you all out there. So
yeah, well, thank you so much. That was Tom Pearo. Go check his stuff out. And I'm Callum. I'm your host of Quarantine Cafe, and we will see you guys tomorrow at noon.
I hope you enjoyed this today. I hope this brought a smile to your hearts wherever you are. Peace and love. Bye.